This is the afternoon of day 8. Feeling really good today. Not as good as I did yesterday, but still feel pretty good to be fair. Funny enough, when I first woke up this morning, I had major cravings for Coke. Kind of weird because I actually had a really good night's sleep again, which is always kind of odd. But then I guess sometimes like cravings and urges and stuff like that, they just come at the most weirdest and random times. And a lot of times they come when you least expect it, when you're feeling good and stuff like that, and things are going well, and it's like, why the fuck am I craving? Like, but and then sometimes like you'll be really down or whatever, and then you'll feel more motivated to stay sober. That's what it's like for me anyway. I can't speak for everyone. Yeah, I mean, I guess I was going to talk a little bit about like gateway drugs and stuff like that, because for you that don't know, I started with cocaine. I started with cannabis. I was a big time stoner back in the day. Me and my best friend. We're not friends anymore, but my old best friend. We were big time stoners. Smoked it every single day. However, I smoked weed for many years, and I didn't actually do hard drugs. I didn't start taking hard drugs until I was 28 years old. I'm 35 now, so all in all 7 years. I done amphetamines for 3 years, and I done cocaine for a further 4 years, all the way up until 8 days ago. But the fact, like how it came about, is that I was going out with a girl at the time, and we broke up. I was a bit upset about it, and my friend told me, like, look, try this, man, which was amphetamines. Try this, you won't give a shit about her after you try this. And yeah, he was right, didn't give a shit about her. However, I now gave a shit about something else, which was amphetamines, and I fucking loved that shit. It was amazing. So then I got kind of hooked on that for the next 3 years. However, did I do amphetamines because I originally smoked weed? No way in hell was that the case, because there was a large gap for a start between when I stopped smoking weed to when I tried amphetamines. And not only that, I never had no desire to try anything else. I had plenty of opportunities back in the day when I smoked weed. I smoked it for years, and I always knew there was other stuff around. If you know a weed dealer, you pretty much know a cocaine dealer. I was never interested in it. I was never really interested in it. I just love smoking my weed, man. So, like, do I believe that just because you smoked weed, you're gonna naturally go on to harder stuff? No, definitely not. Do I think some people have that thing where like they're wanting a stronger high, and then they progress onto like harder drugs? Yes, definitely. Because yes, I definitely believe them people exist. However, I can only ever speak from my own experience and the way my brain works, and how it's not a gateway drug for everyone, and it wasn't for me. If I wasn't introduced to amphetamines and cocaine and that, I probably would still be smoking weed every day to this day. I was just a stoner. I just loved my weed. Alcohol. I've always had a problem with alcohol ever since I can remember. I've always had an issue with it. I remember the first time I drank alcohol, I got paralytic drunk. I drank a whole bottle of vodka. I got paralytic drunk, and I went round to the next shop, to where we was chilling, and tried pulling a girl. tried getting tried getting laid, which probably not the best thing to do at 13 years old and you're pissed out your head. That anyway. But do I believe in gateway drugs? No, I don't. Not for the majority of people, because like this is not just my experience as well. Like, even though I can only ever speak from my own experience, I also know lots of people that they smoked weed back in the day and they still smoke weed now, or they smoked a lot of weed and then they just stopped and then they don't do anything anymore. And I know lots of people like that, and I know lots of people that still smoke weed to this day that have never gone on to anything else. So I think it's just really, it's a case by case basis, and it's individuals, not like, this is hard facts that, like you smoke weed, you're going to become a heroin addict. No, it doesn't work like that in my opinion. And from my own experience. However, like, looking back on my weed usage, can I see like those warning signs early on that I have that addictive type personality? Yes, definitely. definitely. Like, because if I had to go more than a day without smoking weed, I would be climbing the walls, I would be getting really aggy, and I'd get depressed and all this sort of shit, to the point where I'd like be scraping out my fucking grinder, trying to get little bits of weed to try and make a joint. So yeah, I mean, like the red flags were there all along for me to, but then who the fuck pays attention to that when you're younger and that no one does really. But yeah, I don't think it's a gateway drug. However, I do believe it can be a gateway drug for some types of people. But anyway, day 8 on to day 9.